Hey, what's up everybody? Christy Keenan here for SuperLobby.com. I'm back with the weekly Fantasy Premier League soccer preview. I know that soccer is very much second fiddle to the NFL in the States this week, but hey, over this side of the pond, it's still a massive deal. We've had the international break. Frankly, I don't care much about international football. I am all about getting the Fantasy Premier League DFS action back underway. So we've got a very special guest this week. Now, you may have been watching in recent weeks, we've had guys like Chris Mazzone from Mondogoal, the VP of Marketing. I've had Justin Lalonde on, we've had Hesham Bazaza on, Benny Ricciardi, DFS legend, has been on, and we've got, frankly, someone who's more important than all of those guys combined. It is none other, drumroll please, than my regular sidekick David. David, how are you?
Wow, no, I'm amazing. I'm great. I'm happy to be here. I'm delighted to be asked on. I'm looking forward to it, and I think your introduction was very fair.
Cool, glad to hear it. You're pleased to be asked on to a podcast that you sponsor. That's
correct. Yeah, correct.
That's touching. All right, so David's still not quite figured out that webcam.
Saving you my face. You should be delighted.
It just means get more of my face for everyone, and I'm not sure that anyone comes out of that too well. But hey, it's okay. It's all good. We'll figure out that webcam one day, and we'll be able to do an interactive video. So just to fill you guys in recent weeks, if you've been watching, you'll have seen that Chris from Mondogoal is currently leading the way in our little DFS challenge. So Chris is 59.02 points, Hesh and Bazaza pretty paltry 57.48. I know that he's desperate to get back on the show so he can rectify that. David, do you fancy your chances of going over 59 today?
Don't see any way that I'm not going to beat that.
Brilliant. We've set the target. It's bold words, it's fighting talk, it's straight out of the league, you know. There's some proper heckling going on between these guys on Twitter. Sure. I anticipate, it's a pretty low bar to be honest, I anticipate this team that David's got this week going high. But before we get into the team analysis, David, I hear that there's some exciting new features coming in on the Super Lobby. Do you want to give us a little teaser?
Sure do, yeah. We've been working like Trojans here the last few weeks, and it's looking like we're going to go live this week with SuperLobby Premium.
Ooh, I love it. What's Premium?
SuperLobby Premium. So SuperLobby Premium is we are going to give each individual user the chance to set up some alerts that are going to tell them about overlay straight to their inbox. So they're going to get a chance to bespoke things a little bit more, get their hands on the Super Lobby and sort of tweak it and turn it into something that's very personal for them.
Oh, that sounds good. So they'll be able to set their own specs, set their own notifications?
Yeah, completely. So if you were just into NFL and you were playing like say $20 entry NFL contest and you wanted to know that there was overlay, you know, with say 2 hours before kickoff, before contest closes, you would be able to set that alert and we would tell you, and we would keep telling you until you didn't want us to tell you anymore.
Presumably you guys will see the value in that. If there's, like, I mean, half the battle in DFS is not getting your team on, it's getting your team on in contests where there's good value available.
Yeah. So no, exactly. You know, putting your team into the right contest makes you massive, favourite in terms of winning overall. So, you know, we're looking at the Super Lobby just now, and there's some contests that are like 90% plus overlay.
That's obscene. That's
why
like, sorry, yeah, that's like the equivalent of having like a 1 in 2 shot at winning, you know, what should be a 1 in 10 shot or something. That's printing money.
I mean, it has to be. Why aren't people entering these contests? So we are just going to publicize it a little bit more. We've got a big campaign starting pre-NFL. We've got a load of content going out, and we're just going to make it easier for the community to win money. That's quite straightforward. There's been so much cash raised. I mean, what people haven't probably really noticed is that, it's all about Fangio and DraftKings and the amount of money they've raised.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other companies, they've raised shit tons of money.
And we've got some of those in the Super Lobby now, don't we? Some of these maybe lesser known companies that have got amazing value going on.
And they're in there, like guys like Draft or Pass are running a contest for NFL whereby it's a 300-man contest. You stick $2 in to enter, and last place gets $3.
So basically a free roll.
Well, it's better than a free roll.
Amazing.
Their main NFL contest running at 0% rate. I mean, there's so much choice now. We've got, as we speak on Thursday at lunchtime in the UK, we've got 8 operators in. We've got another 3 operators that are in the integration pipeline that we hope to get live within the next few days. So you're getting such a massive choice of opportunity.
I'm just looking at this Drafter Pass 5K Red Zone event. I'm looking at it on Super Lobby right now. Okay, so it's got 1,000 runners cap, and there's currently 138 entries in it, with 0 rake giving an 86% overlay. That's like, I don't know the first thing about NFL, but I'd be putting in a bunch of teams regardless.
I mean, even Chris and Hesh could probably make cash in that, right?
Oh, fighting words.
But yeah, I mean, like there's we're talking about this example Drafter Pass. There's examples like that. There's hundreds of examples, and that's what the Super Lobby Premium is about. It's about, just filtering out, because actually, if you go to the lobby just now, there's 40,000 contests.
Oh, that is good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 42,944. 950, it's updating in real time. Contest running right now.
955. So, I mean, no one in their right mind is able to go through all those contests and figure out what the overlay is and figure out the best thing. You need automation in this process. That's what we're providing for you. And we're doing it, at Super Lobby Premium, so we're doing it as cheap as we can, and we're actually giving an option whereby if you sign up to partner accounts, then you're going to get like 12 months free access to Super Lobby, and no doubt in 12 months time we'll do some more partner stuff and you'll get it free again. So we don't really want to charge anyone for it. This is the operators that are paying for guys to sort of find out about them, so it's win-win.
So basically, you sign up to an operator that you don't have an account for, play some DFS there, which you're going to do anyway, and you get all the benefits of Super Lobby Premium gratis.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. That sounds pretty good to me. And yeah, all right. Well, let's move on to this week's soccer, because we've missed the Premier League with the international break. As you can probably tell, we're both Scottish. Scotland managed to lose 2 out of 2 games in the international break. Not just lose. I mean, again, we lost 1-0 away to Georgia, and it was like paint dry stuff. It was just miserable. And then lost 3-2 at home to Germany, with what I must say was possibly the worst individual performance in international football I've ever seen from a Scotland player, in Charlie Mulgrew, who somehow managed to be caught out of position just for 90 straight minutes. Didn't know that was possible. Didn't know it was possible. You'd think by default you would be in position some of the time, but no.
Sure. Yeah. You're not a big fan of Charlie Mulgrew. There's a slight agenda there, I think.
Where you go. There's no agenda there.
They haven't tuned in. Our millions of listeners haven't tuned in to listen to us discuss Charlie Mulgrew, the Aberdeen turncoat.
Listen, nothing against Charlie Mulgrew, unless he plays as poorly as he did on Monday night.
Okay.
All right, let's talk Premier League. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, David has selected the team this week. He's taken a run at the top of the leaderboard. Is this the team that's going to do it for him? David, first talking point is fairly obviously Sergio Romero in goals, going against what the newspapers are saying, which is that David De Gea will reclaim the gloves.
Okay, right. I didn't know that, so can I change?
Well, we don't know if he will. I mean, it wouldn't be like Van Gaal to be contrary or anything, would it? I mean,
don't know. You've really upset me now, because the goalkeeper position was something I was looking at. I didn't really know what to do. I was going to maybe stick in Peter Cech. I wasn't sure he was definitely going to play. I was maybe going to stick in actually the Bournemouth goalkeeper.
Okay,
Because I kind of think Norwich are a bit poor.
Yep.
And I was like that. Maybe I'll stick that guy in, whatever his name is.
Boric.
That's right.
You've
I
heard
looked
of
at
him.
Boric.
You've heard
Yeah,
of
all right, ex-Celtic player, isn't he, Southampton? But I wasn't sure because, like, Federici, he's also had. Is he not the sort of main keeper there? I see he's priced higher on Mondogoal than Boric was.
Unless they've dropped Boric, I know that he started the first few games. I can't see.
Right. He's played 4 games, Boric, and he's played all the games. But I just wondered why that they would have someone priced higher that wasn't considered the starter. But okay, right, terrible start to my team. I'm going to have to beat these guys with no goalkeeper.
Right. Okay.
Right. I actually don't think Liverpool are that good this year. Haven't been massively impressed with them. I don't think they're quite.
What is it about a team that got beat 3-0 by West Ham in their last game that makes you think they're not much good?
Don't get me wrong, I don't think Man United are very good either, but they're maybe stuffy enough to just sort of, eke out a sort of a 1 or a 2-0 type result. Yeah, so obviously we're not fans of Brendan Rodgers particularly. Well, I'm not particularly a fan of Brendan Rodgers. I've listened to his nonsense enough.
Can't drive a Porsche as a middle-aged man and get my respect, I'm afraid.
No, definitely not. And that's just one of the many reasons.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about the defence then? Because I feel a bit embarrassed about that
already. Okay. Sorry to have dropped that bombshell on you. I should have probably brought up the Romero might not play.
Do you know what? Yeah, no problem. There's a ton of injuries this week. That's what I will say. First thing off, I mean, an absolute ton of injuries. So you got to be careful. Everywhere you look, finding a good site that gives you some injury news is definitely going to be important. So, and not just injuries, people on airplanes, and Aguero. Where is Aguero?
Oh yeah, that's right. He's halfway around the world right now, isn't he?
Yeah, so you'd be wary of picking him, right? So I didn't pick him. But I know a lot of people probably will because he's a kind of default go-to guy, isn't he?
But at the back, you feel confident with Alex Kolarov, Hector Bellerin, and Simon Francis?
Yeah, I definitely do. Well, Man City, I'm not totally convinced they're going to keep a clean sheet against Crystal Palace. I always think Crystal Palace, especially at home, has got such a threat with goals. They play the 3 up top, wingers and movement and pace. It's a sort of formation that I think would give Man City a bit of problems.
Yeah.
So I'm not really putting him in there for the clean sheet necessarily. I'm putting him in there for the assists. I think the partnership he's formed with Raheem Sterling.
Yeah.
So I'm almost stacking Kolarov and Sterling down the left-hand side for Man City there. Yeah. Something's going to happen there, isn't there?
I mean, those guys create. I love Kolarov as a pick because he's a goal threat, which is rare for a fullback.
Yeah,
and he's a big creator as well.
Yeah, and there was a lot of sort of defenders this week there in the slate that they weren't. I didn't really see a lot of obvious kind of assists coming from defenders in the slate this week. There's no one really on the slate that's had more than 1 assist all year in any case.
But Man City versus Palace, you think it's going to be wide open? You think there's going to be chances and assists in that?
I think so, yeah. And obviously in the Palace side, you're looking at one of their defenders, Joe Ward, being a guy that's had scored twice this season.
Yeah, I picked him both times.
You picked him when he scored both times.
Picked him when he scored both times.
Good man.
Yeah.
And you look at the other Haddies that have scored twice this season. Russell Martin, Haddy, plays for Scotland, and Vincent Kompany was in my team.
Love
at 6.4 million, he was in my team.
Great
but
price.
I thought, I can see them not keeping a clean sheet. And I didn't want Man City to go and win 3-2, and then 2 of my defenders have just sort of suffered that way. And what with my goalkeeper not scoring any points, so all of a sudden it's not a great start.
Magic value, regardless of whether you pick him. It's 6 mega for Kompany. That's a great pick.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I didn't pick him, but yeah, that would have been a great pick. And Simon Francis, he's contributed an assist this season, and Bellerin as well.
Bournemouth are playing Norwich, aren't they? So
yeah, and I watched Norwich before the break against Southampton, and I thought they were crap.
Yeah.
So, hence I'm kind of very anti-Norwich just now. So I think, Bournemouth away to Norwich, I think there's a bit of value in there, potentially opposing them. Plus Whittaker's not playing. I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but he get sent off for just a ridiculous two yellows
it's
against.
2 in 90 seconds or something.
Just so stupid, he stopped the guy taking a throw in and then kicked a guy 30 seconds later, whatever else, idiot. Off you go, mate. Also Scottish. So, Francis, he's got a chance, doesn't he, of contributing something in at 7.1 million. Happy to put him in there. Arsenal, I think, could probably keep a clean sheet against Stoke this weekend. So Bellerin, I think you get a sort of a slight possibility of maybe some clean sheet points in there, and hence his inclusion. He's performed reasonably well, 7.75 points per game this season. Relatively consistent performer. No doubt he'll be injured and won't play, but if he is playing, then you know what? My defence was I just was so uninspired by it.
You get your excuses in early. Come on, stand behind your team.
I'm going to have to beat these two guys with 7 men. Front 7.
It does look like a strong front 7. I love John Shelvey. I'm amazed that you picked John Shelvey. I remember a conversation you and I had a couple of years ago now, the day that he moved from Liverpool to Swansea, and we were fighting like cats and dogs because I said, he's brilliant, he's going to turn into a really good player. Because he was only 20 years old. People think because he's got the alopecia that people think that, with a bald dome that he's 28 or something. But the guy had 50 Premier League appearances at 20.
You were right.
I really think he's a quality player.
You were right, and I thought he played really nicely for England as well the other night. So, or the other day, didn't he? Played in the weekend fixture.
Yeah.
So he controls it. He controls the passing. And now, do you know what? I was impressed with Swansea again against Man U. Much that wasn't impressed with Man U.
They're just such a good side.
They are a good side.
Right through the spine of the team, like Ashley Williams at the back. They got Gylfi and Shelvey in the midfield, and then they've got your man. Gomez. Gomez. That's it. I forget.
And Gomez was almost in the team as well, but he's just getting so expensive.
I know, but he's a fantastic point scorer.
I know, he is.
Have we talked about this before? Has there ever been a better value front 2 combination than Ayew and Gomez? Not a pound spent between them. 2 free transfers.
Yeah, that's tremendous.
That's tremendous. Phenomenal transfer mark.
Yeah, I like the lad Ayew.
Yeah.
He's definitely got something about him, and he was definitely under consideration this week. But these guys are getting quite expensive, and obviously I really wanted Raheem Sterling in there.
Yeah.
And some of my midfielders are a bit expensive as well, and I don't know, and it just never quite worked out for me getting him in there. Also, really, Sadio Mane, I liked him in for Southampton, but all of a sudden, then I would have had 3 Southampton players in there, and I'm not totally convinced. It's West Brom away, I think.
Yeah, West Brom away. Yeah.
Bit of a sticky fixture, but I can see Pelle coming off the back of an international goal. I can see him getting his confidence up and doing something again. This weekend he's actually a pretty reasonable start to the season, as I understand it. He scored twice.
Yeah.
He's had 5 shots on target, so 6.7 million, definitely value.
It's a good price. It's a good price.
And
the problem with Pelle is he's an all or nothing guy. What do Americans call that in fantasy terms? High ceiling guy, or I think it's a high ceiling guy, like a guy who has it in him to absolutely basically win the competition on his own for you this week. But by the same token, if he's not on form, it's just like playing a man light.
He could bust, but he scored twice in 4 games in the league. He scored 1 international goal that I know of recently. So I mean, he's confident.
He's got it in him.
Great touch. He loves to shoot. You're going to get some shots off him and stuff.
Yeah.
Happy to have him in there.
And you've gone for big Oliver Giroud to partner him.
Love Giroud.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
I do. I love Giroud. Yeah, you'll notice a lot of times I like Giroud. I just think he's great. He's got such a lovely touch around the edge of the box. I can see Arsenal getting 65% possession against Stoke. There'll be chances falling to him. Yeah, I really like him. And at the price, like 8.6. I mean, especially when you think about some of the more expensive forwards, really trying to build a case for picking them. I couldn't pick Aguero. I can't pick Memphis, who's just can't stand him. And then it's like Max Grado's 11.8.
He's injured. He's out for the season now.
He's out. Is he out for the season?
Yeah, did his cruciate, I think, midweek.
Okay, well, he's definitely not good value at 11.8. in that case.
11.8 million for a hospital bed.
So it was like Gomez at 11.9 or Giroud 8.6. I was like, I'm going to take Giroud and I'm going to find some money to spend elsewhere, like notably into my midfield.
Yeah, David Silva, 14 mega. I mean, you've really gone all in on him.
I know, I love him, and it was like stick him or Yaya Toure, and probably Toure will score twice or something now. But probably the guy that I'm most interested in that is Oxlade-Chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he played really nicely again for England midweek. His turn of pace is superb.
Yeah.
He contributes. He's like really turning into a proper player for me.
Yes.
And I'm excited. I'm excited about all my front seven. Tadic I thought was fantastic against a crap Norwich team.
He's a really good player.
I just love him. Anyone who's so one-footed that plays on the wing that doesn't have much pace that can still always be a defender. How does that?
You've just described David Beckham.
Unbelievable, and you'll be like that. Oh, I'm not impressed. But you'll look at his stats when he's retired, and you'll be like, this guy crossed the ball for 800 goals.
Yeah,
it's like 7 million. I'm loving it. So when you edit this video and take Romero out and stick someone else in, then we're going to be flying.
You can make the change, but you'll need to do it now. You'll need to do it on camera, or else your team will be invalid.
Okay,
so
right. I'm going to do that.
Goalkeepers.
Yeah, I'm going to do that on camera, right? I'm going to go and dig out another goalkeeper, and I'm going to go for Cech.
Peter Cech.
Okay, he's 8.7, so it's spending 300 grand less. So I'm going to leave 400k on the table. Stick Cech in for Romero.
And there's your team. Peter Cech, Alex Kolarov, Hector Bellerin, Simon Francis, Dusan Tadic, John Shelvey, David Silva, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, Raheem Sterling, Olivier Giroud, Graziano Pelle. Is that the title-winning team?
Done and dusted. Send me the trophy. Send myself the trophy.
Send yourself the trophy, you sponsor. All right, everyone, we're going to wrap it up there. David, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
And be sure to check out SuperLobby.com with the new premium features. We're getting pretty stoked. Also, because it's the start of the NFL season, you will probably never see a week with better value across the board in DFS. It's a really exciting time to be involved in it. Make the most of it. Get on it today, get on it this weekend for certain. And of course, as always, hit us up on Twitter, let us know what you think at SuperLobby. Subscribe on iTunes, etc., etc. Pleasure as always, everyone. This is Chris Keenan for SuperLobby.com. Bye bye.